Hello, English teachers. I am Bahadur. Welcome to my channel. Today, our session is about vocabulary, TKT course, and Model 1. So, lexis or vocabulary questions usually follow grammar in Model 1. You need to know terminology such as lexis, lexical items, etc., and meaning relations, synonyms, antonyms, affixation, prefixes and suffixes, compounds, collocations, phrasal verbs, false friends, register and appropriacy, vocabulary teaching methods. So let's continue. So words and meaning. Vocabulary means words available for use in the language. So glossary, the list of words with their meanings attached. And lexical item is a word or phrase. And lexicon means dictionary. The lexicon of English. Because of its long and mixed history, English has a large lexicon, more than 1 billion million words and compared to other language. This is a memory challenge for learners. Published dictionaries give an idea of the size of the English lexicon. The Oxford English Dictionary contains over 500,000 items, still only a fraction of the total. Personal lexicon. Every speaker has a personal lexicon, a fraction of the available lexicon which grows with time, which is why all the people are better at crosswords. Average personal lexicons. As a native speaker, 6-year-old child, now 13,000 items, and at high school graduate children now 45,000 lexical items or words. And basic vocabulary for any language learners is a non-native learner. 6,000 words, and for teachers it is 20,000 words, and for students, for example, 1,000 to 5,000 words. So, active versus passive vocabulary. All speakers of a language have two vocabularies, an active and passive. Active vocabulary, the words a speaker uses for language production, for example, for writing or speaking. Passive vocabulary, the words a speaker recognizes but doesn't use, for example, in listening or in reading. Function words and content words. The lexicon can be divided into major categories. Function words perform a grammatical role in the sentence, i.e., prepositions, articles, conjunctions, and auxiliary verbs. Content words carry most of the lexical meaning, i.e., nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. In child language acquisition, content words appear long before function words, as mama, dada, doggy, bail. Content words are also more essential to communication, as illustrated by newspaper headlines written in what's sometimes called telegraphic English or telegraphies. Police tactics warlike. Trial told. Lexical items. A lexical item is not necessarily a single word. For example, compound nouns and noun phrases. Jack in the box, trick of the trade, chance in a million are compound nouns or noun phrases. Well made, 18-year-old are compound adjectives. Also, phrasal verbs are lexical items. Put down, put up with, get along with, get on with, get down to. Lexical meaning. The main property of words is that they have meaning. A word can have one or many meanings. Two words can mean the same thing. Words are simply signs. The only link between the word tree and a large plant with a trunk and leaves is the agreement between English speakers to let that word signify that object. Theories of word meaning include denotation. The meaning of a word is the object it represents. A word may have several denotations. So next one is connotation. The meaning of a word is the idea it creates in our minds. And the use of a word. The meaning of a word is determined by consensus within a large community. Meaning relations. Synonym. Synonym is a word which has the same or nearly the same meaning as another word. For example, nice is a synonym of good. Automobile is a synonym of a car. Antonym, the opposite of another word. For example, hot is the antonym of cold. Homonym, the same word to denote different things. For example, bank. It has two denotations. So one of the denotations is river bank, and the next one is savings bank. So one word has two meanings. The next one is homophone, word which sounds the same as another word, but has a different meaning or spelling. For example, I knew he had won. I bought a new book. So I knew here is a verb, and I bought a new book. New is here an adjective. Also, dear, aunt, idol. So homophone is a word which has the same pronunciation but different meanings. Hyponymy, where one word fits under the umbrella of another's meaning. For example, transportation vehicle is a form of transportation. Automobile is a kind of vehicle. Roadster is a kind of automobile. And Corvette is a kind of roadster. 69 flathead is a kind of Corvette. So each word stays under another bigger word. Ambiguity. When the meaning of a word or sentence is not clear from the information given. Lack of clearness. For example, in the sentence, they had a ball. Ball could mean an item of sporting equipment, a formal dance, or a good time. So it may have three meanings, and context is needed to clarify the meaning, and it is ambiguity or lack of clearness. Affixation. Starting from a word or root word, new words are formed by the addition of affixes. Affixes can be prefixes placed before the stem word or root word, and suffixes placed after the stem word. Affixes come in two major forms: derivational, changing part of speech, and inflectional, adding grammatical meaning. Derivational affixes add categorical meaning to the word stem. For example, unfriendliness, state of not having a friend quality. So root word is a friend, prefix is un, and suffix is ly and ness. Inflectional affixes change words by adding grammatical meaning. For example, let's take the word meal. Meal is the root word, the meaning of grinding, and prefix is a prefix we are using capital letter M and ER. So Miller. Miller's tale, belonging to a particular individuals who grins. Compounds. Compounds are nouns, verbs, adjectives, or prepositions that are made up of two or more words. For example, assistant office manager, bring back, long-legged, due to. Multi-word or phrasal verb, a verb which is made up of more than one word. For example, verb plus adverb particle or preposition, which has a different meaning from each individual word. For example, get on with. The teacher gets on well with the students. Word order. Although many phrasal verbs can take an object in both places, you must put the object between the verb and the preposition if the object is a pronoun. Example, I looked the number up in the phone book. I looked the number in the phone book. I looked it up in the phone book. And I looked up it in the phone book is an incorrect version. Note that phrasal verbs can also have multiple meanings. Example, the teacher pets on well with the students. I'm sorry, the teacher gets on well with the students. And the teacher told the students to get on with the exercise. So it has two meanings: to have a good relationship in the first sentence, and in the next sentence, get on with means to continue. I'm sorry for the mistake I made. So lexical set. Lexical set, a group of words or phrases that are about the same topic. For example, weather, about, so the topic is weather, and the words may be storm, rain, wind, cloudy, sunshine, etc. Or it may be a topic such as classroom things. So the words may be a pen, a pencil, a bag, at the teacher's desk, a chair, and so on. So it's a lexical set. So in the lexical set, a group of words or phrases stays under one same topic. And collocations. Collocation governs how words can be used together. For example, which prepositions are used with particular verbs, or which verbs and nouns are used together. A collocation is a sequence of words or terms which occur together more often than would be expected by chance. Here are some examples. Crystal clear, middle management, nuclear family, cosmetic surgery. Some words are often found together because they make up a compound noun. For example, riding boots, motorcyclist. Knowledge of collocations is essential for language learners because even a grammatically correct sentence will sound wrong if figures of speech. Some words or phrases describe one thing in terms of another and are not meant to be taken literally. The London fog settled for the night like a cat, wrapping the city in a wet blanket. Metaphor, wet blanket, a figure of speech that makes a comparison between two seemingly unlike things without using connective words such as like, as, then, resembling. Personification, the fog settled for the night, a kind of metaphor in which a non-human thing or quality is talked about as if it were a human. Smile, similar, similar. Like a cat, a figure of speech that makes a comparison between two seemingly unlike things using words such as like, as, than, or resembles. Symbol, London fog. A person, place, thing, or event that has meaning in itself and that also stands for something more than itself. False friends. False friends are pairs of words in two languages that look or sound similar but differ in meaning. Both false friends and false cognates can cause difficulty for students learning a foreign language, particularly one that's related to their native language, because students are likely to misidentify the words due to linguistic interference. Because false friends are a common problem for language learners, teachers sometimes compile lists of false friends as an aid for their students. For example, in my mother tongue, magazine means a magazine means a shop. It's a Russian word, but in Uzbekistan we use to mean a shop. And a magazine in English means something to read. So sometimes students confuse these two words. So how we teach vocabulary? Pre-teaching. When a new topic is introduced, key lexis as well as new structures should be pre-taught. Key lexical items include items central to the topic, items which occur with high frequency, items which are necessary in order to understand overall meaning, new items the teacher wants to highlight, pre-teaching, and pre-teaching involves presenting the items orally or written form, eliciting existing lexical knowledge from the class, explaining the meanings of new items, illustrating the use of the item in context, and concept checking by asking the learner to use the item. So, how many new items should be taught? How many new words should a teacher introduce during the course of a lesson? Recommendations range from 4 to more than 30. This yields an average of 40. And the real answer depends on the learner. For a young learner, 4 words might easily be sufficient, whereas for a motivated adult learner, 30 plus items might be a useful target. Lexis and topic. Lexis should be taught by topic. For example, a visit to the doctor incorporates with the lexis of anatomy, arm, leg, and head, sensation, fear, pain, and medical instruments like needle, thermometer, and pharmacy, pill, medicine, etc. Eliciting. Eliciting vocabulary draws on the existing lexical resources of the learners. One method of eliciting is brainstorming or mind mapping. Starting from a central concept, items are generated at random. For example, here the topic is my body, and you can ask students several words, say no. The next step is to group the concepts into the topic sub-areas. In this situation, for example, medicine words and body parts. For example, for medicine words, operation, pill, needle, bandage, and for body parts, head, arm, leg, etc. Teaching meaning. There are various strategies for explaining the meaning of new items, including by meaning relations, synonyms, antonyms, etc., or by classification, or by comparison, or by description, or by contextualization, and so on. Aids to teaching meaning include really actual objects used for teaching purpose, visual aids, board drawings, mime, visual aids, dictionaries, or translations. Concept checking. Comprehension of new items should always be checked by questioning. For example, describe, define, show me, and or what would you and do. What is it for? Where would you find N? Now explain N to your partner. And this is a concept checking questions. So the next, language and context. Appropriacy or appropriate, inappropriate are terms that relate to the suitability or correctness of particular language in a particular situation. Register refers to the formality or informality of the language used in a particular situation. Formal register or language is used in serious or important situations like in a job application, and informal register or language is used in relaxed or friendly situations like in conversations with your family or friends. And colloquial language used in informal conversations or writing. And natural is a style of speaking or writing that is neither formal or nor informal, but in between. It's appropriate for most situations.